Do you know what's costing you more than failure ever could? It's your hesitation to ever get started. My name is Jake Thompson, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and this is the Compete Everyday Podcast, a show designed to encourage and equip ambitious people with the tools needed to build a winning mindset, career, and most importantly, a winning life. Good morning, competitor. It's Jake, your Chief Encouragement Officer. Today, we're talking about that thing that you keep putting off, that project that's sitting on your mental shelf, that idea you keep justifying you're going to get to one day. It's not just waiting for you. It's actively costing you right here, right now, today as we start this week. And I had to learn the lesson the hard way. How many times have you had just an awesome idea and you got stuck in the planning phase, the procrasta-planning? You tell yourself the business you want to start, the conversation you need to have with somebody, that fitness routine that you keep pushing till next Monday and then next Monday. And you justify, you tell yourself you're being strategic, you're being careful, you're being smart to wait until later. But what's really happening in those moments? You're bleeding opportunity while perfecting plans that don't really matter. Sound familiar? Ever gone through that? Ever justified waiting until next week? Yeah. I see this pattern a lot. I see it with high performers. I've seen it with the person in the mirror, and it honestly hurts us every single time. For 2 years, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, 2 freaking years, I set on an idea for the third book. I had this perfect title. We were going to do this collection around it. I had everything in my head. The concept was mapped out. I knew the problems I wanted to solve, but I just kept pushing it off. That perfect title held me, it captivated me, but I didn't really put pen to paper with it. I got stuck on the format. I got stuck on the idea because I wanted to write it as a fable. I wanted to tell it as a story, something different from my usual style. And because it was different, there was more friction to get starting. And so I kept pushing it off. It wasn't in my comfort zone, and so I kept delaying. I'd research, I'd outline, I'd test. I told myself I was being thorough, that I was planning. How professional sounding of me. Then a couple of months ago, happened to come across a post on Instagram. Following that down a rabbit hole, I noticed that someone had snagged that perfect title for a book. They had trademarked it. They're doing some things with it in apparel, business services. The exact phrase that I'd set on for years. They just filed everything in January. Man, I was so frustrated. Like so aggravated. I wasn't even aggravated at the person. I was aggravated at myself because I could have taken action years ago on this. Yet I didn't. I hesitated. And I failed with this thing, not because I took action, it didn't work out. It's because I didn't even start. Crazy part is this isn't just me. Maybe you can relate to it. Maybe someone you know can relate to it. There's research from the University of Minnesota that shows we consistently overestimate the risk of action while completely ignoring the cost of inaction. It's called omission bias. It's where we feel worse about negative results from things we did than from the things we didn't do. So we freeze, thinking that not acting actually protects us from the future, but in reality, it often gives us something worse, which is regret. The brutal truth that psychology has reinforced time and time again, that research studies continue to show, is that at the end of life, people regret the things that they didn't take action on far more than the things that they did that didn't work out the way they wanted. The cost of hesitation isn't theoretical, it's real, it's measurable, and it's often permanent. And here's a way that we can start thinking about it differently. The scoreboard doesn't reward perfect plans, it records executed action. In football, hesitation, sometimes it's going to get you tackled. In business, it gets your market share stolen. In life, get your opportunities taken by someone who just was willing to make moves while you were hesitating. It was that person that got asked out by somebody else at the bar because you sat there and never did it. It's that person who got the promotion because they were willing to raise their hand and put their name in the hat while you were waiting until you felt ready. It was that other coach that signed that potential client you could have worked with because you kept waiting of all the things you needed to do before you launched your own business. See, we think about what failure is going to cost us, and we often don't think about what our hesitation, our inaction, our productive procrastination is really costing us. And oftentimes it's costing us a lot more. It's the connections we're not making, the skills we're not developing, the impact we're not having, the revenue you're not generating, the life you want to be living that you're not changing. See, when you start to understand this, hesitation becomes more terrifying than failure ever can. So how do we start to break out of it? Here's 3 things that you can do today to get over this idea of hesitating and start taking action. The first is create a cost of waiting document. Pull out your phone, create a note. On that new note, I want you to list out everything that waiting is costing you for your biggest opportunity, right? Be brutally honest, be specific. If I were to sit down and think about the times that I procrastinated doing sales and outbound reach, I'd start calculating gigs, speaking opportunities that someone else got, someone that I feel like I was a better fit for than they were, but they got it because you know what they asked? They did the work, they showed up. And so start to calculate what's this hesitation costing you in dollars, in growth, in relationships, in health? The thing you keep putting off, visualize it, see it, put it right in front of you. Make that cost visible and undeniable. Number 2, commit to taking imperfect action now, this week. No hesitation, no next Monday, no I'll get to it later, this week. And it doesn't have to be big. Just identify one small imperfect step that you can take today to start moving toward that goal. Not planning it, not working around, waiting on it, ugly, imperfect execution. Because what you understand is once you take action, then you can start to improve it. You can't improve anything until you start doing it. And if the step makes you a little bit uncomfortable, good. You know it's real. Number 3, find an accountability partner. I just talked to somebody this morning about the importance of leveraging this. Utilize a free app like HabitShare. Do something that's going to help you move forward by having someone that's going to check on you to say, are you doing the thing you promised yourself you would do? Text them today. Find somebody that's not going to let you get off the hook with excuses. They're going to call you out on it. They're going to hold your feet to the fire because they care about you and they want to see you get better. And stop waiting until you feel 100% ready or you have 100% of the information. What was interesting is there's an idea that military trains leaders to make decisions when they have 70% of ideal information. At that point, the cost of waiting for perfect information outweighs the benefit. What if you started looking at it the same way? I have 70% of the confidence, so I'm going to take moves. I have 70% of the skill, I'm going to take the move. I'm going to start doing things to improve it because otherwise I'm going to keep waiting. And waiting is only going to add to the regret. Starting is scary. The possibility of failure scares all of us. It's nothing to dismiss or laugh at, but the reality is failure weighs far less than the regret of inaction. Failure hurts far less than missing out on opportunities you were too afraid to start making moves for. Every competitor knows this. You can adjust a play once the ball snapped, but you can't win a game from the sidelines. What opportunity in your life are you sitting on today that may be someone else's tomorrow if you keep procrastinating? Don't let hesitation become your biggest regret. Make today your day one and go win it. You know I'm cheering for you, competitor.